Okay, Michael, this is my setup. I'm gonna open up a new timeline just so that you can kind of see what I'm doing because I'm halfway through working this one. All right, so usually what happens is you start with a blank timeline. I'm not 100% sure how Windows Media Maker works, but I'm pretty sure it works roughly in the same way. All right, this right here, clip number 96, that is the entire 20 minutes that I shot for this episode, Division of Labor. You see, that's me kind of reaching for the camera at the end, and this is the whole thing. All right, now I'm pretty sure that you can also do this in Windows Movie Maker, but what I like to do is I like to make the boxes really big and open up the waveforms so that I can kind of see where it is that I'm not talking. And if I play this, what you'll see is that for the first several minutes, I'm just kind of like preparing my shot, making sure things look good, getting confident to speak because that takes me time and I'm not very good at that.
This week.
And see, I started, and then for the next 5 minutes, I don't say anything. So what I do very simply is, first of all, I can just, there's a blade tool in Final Cut. It's called Blade. It's some kind of cut, but either way, you should be able to make a cut. All right, and then select and delete all of that. And I could, before I get started, just go through and delete all of that blank space. You can tell where I'm not speaking because there's no audio waveforms, but I don't like to do that. I like to do that as I go. And then here I can just close the gap, and that puts me back to the beginning. Again, I don't know what of these tools are available for Windows Movie Maker, but I imagine that they're very similar. Now here I start, and you can hear what I said.
So the question Smith wants to address in his
see? And I don't like it. So
in his first book.
And here I look away and I look at my script and I do all these things, and these are very easy to cut out.
The question Smith wants to address in his first book is, why is it that some nations are wealthier than other nations? And he really says that this all boils down to how far they can divide their labor.
I like the way that I said that. So I cut at the end of it, and I cut at the beginning of it, and select this, and keep going.
So what does this mean?
Oh, I like that too, so I'm gonna keep that as well. And now I just keep going. Oh, I can just straight up skip that because I obviously don't say anything there. And move to the next bit, keep going.
Let's say we had no division of labor today. Let's say every person out there had to build their own cell phone, okay? So what are the different parts of a cell phone? You've got the glass for the screen, the plastic for the buttons, maybe the... So let's say we lived in a world with absolutely no division of labor. And in this...
See how many times I stumble there? It took me about 20 minutes to shoot the whole thing, but at the end I get a 4-minute product with full of sentences that I kind of strung together that are much cleaner and better. This whole bit right here that you see, I say it again right here, and I think I say it better this time, so this is the one that I end up sticking with until at the end. This is the division of labor. This is what I end up with. This is, I mean, I'm halfway through editing it, so it's kind of weird, but...
The question Smith wants to address in his first book is, why is it that some nations are wealthier than other nations?
You'll notice where the cuts are.
This all boils down to how far they can divide their labor. So what does this mean? So let's say we lived in a world that had absolutely no division of labor. This means that every person out there has to build their own cell phone. So what goes into a cell phone, really? You've got the glass, that's the screen, right? Then you have the buttons, that they're made out of plastic. Maybe the wiring, so you need metal for the wiring, and that's not even beginning to cover the software and the knowledge that you need in order to program a cell phone and get the applications and all of those things.
This method allows me to both make sure that I'm talking directly to the camera and not reading off a script, which is really important because it makes the audience feel like you're talking to them, but also it also makes sure that I can say things however I want, and it's all cut up nicely and it looks good. And if you look at basically any video blog out there, my favorite obviously being the Vlogbrothers, but also Wheezy Waiter or what's another one I was watching recently? But basically the entire video YouTube world is built off of jump cuts, and that's what these are called. These are called jump cuts. They're cuts very drastically. You can even see it when the screen transitions. See?
Let's start with the basic things. So to get started...
See? You can do that, and it doesn't really matter because that's the style of YouTube. So it doesn't matter that it doesn't look smooth, and it doesn't matter that it doesn't look like it's all one piece. Anyway, if you have any other questions, you know where to find me.